Good day everyone, thank you very much for joining me for this episode. My name is trainer Maxim, and today we're going to talk about the diet, how the gymnasts stay so ripped and fit while eating so much. First, I want to thank everyone who supports my channel, watches my videos, comments, shares ideas. Thank you a lot. Your kind words and support are greatly appreciated. I do not take it for granted. Thank you. Now let's talk about the diet. How gymnasts eat so much and yet still so ripped and fit. You heard me right, they do it a lot. On average, a member of national gymnastics team, at least in Russia, would consume 6,500 calories per day. It's a lot of food versus recommended norm here, 2,500 calories. And yet the gymnast would consume 6,000, 7,000 calories per day. How come? Well, the secret is in the training we do. The training is not really only about the physical activity itself. Yes, we engage a lot of muscle groups, we do the chest exercises, core exercises, but it's not really only about engaging the muscles, it's also about coordinating the muscle works. From my training videos, I think you got some ideas about how we need to coordinate the engagement of the core muscles with the spinal muscles, with the hip flexors. So at the same time, those big groups of muscles are performing some physical activity, and there is a huge component of the mental task a gymnast needs to perform while that physical activity is in place to coordinate those muscles. And that's what costs a lot to your central nervous system, because in essence, the brain can consume only the carbs for the energy. At rest, a general consumption is 700 calories just to sit on the sofa and do nothing for the brain. If you task your brain with the mental goals, like learning languages or learning movements, then the brain needs extra calories. As a matter of fact, 1 hour of learning of a foreign language, let's say I'm trying to conquer Spanish right now, and 1 hour of learning would cost me approximately 150-200 calories. Compared to 1 hour on the treadmill, where you would spend less than 100 calories if you just do light jogging. So learning is very expensive for the brain, because brain needs to coordinate all that electrical activity, think about the sequence in which those muscles are firing, the timing, the amount of strength, all these needs to be controlled and controlled quite rapidly while you're performing these exercises. So not only you're engaging a lot of muscle groups at the same time, but you also have to coordinate the muscle activity while you're performing that or another skill. If we talk about just a regular handstand, let's say if you hold the handstands for 60 seconds and it's not that much, then you will spend on average 7 calories, maybe 7-10 calories, depends on your body weight. But if you decided to lift 100 kilos above the ground, 1 meter, then you will spend 1 calorie on each rep. So if you lift 100 kilos, 7 reps, 1 meter above the ground, it will give you 7 calories. The same amount of calories you would spend holding just a handstand. And I don't know about you much, guys, but to me, lifting 100 kilos 1 meter above the ground is quite heavy. Essentially, it's a deadlift with 2 plates on the bar, and you lift it for 7 reps and you spend only 7 calories. Versus I can easily hold the handstands for 1 minute, no problem, and spend the same amount of time, the same amount of calories. And if I trick the handstands, while holding the handstands, I might do the legs apart or press to handstands or one-arm handstands. I will spend even more. So in common sense, the gymnasts, they do perform a lot of physical activity, especially professional gymnasts who compete. If you are in a national team, you will be training maybe 6-7 hours per day. 4 or 5 days in a row. You train 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours afternoon, 2 hours in the evening, and plus you have other physical activities. So on average, one gymnastic training with all those various drills, which would be engaging a lot of muscle groups at the same time in highly coordinated fashion, will give you 500 calories per hour just on the muscle activity, 152 calories on learning component, on the coordination part of the muscle activity. So total we might have 700 calories per hour during the gymnastics training, just to perform physical activity in highly coordinated fashion. So if you train 6-7 hours per day, you will spend 4,000, 5,000 calories only on training. Plus, your body needs some calories just to survive, to maintain the kidney function, the stomach function, the heart, the brain function, etc. And on average, depends on your basal metabolic rate, you might require 1,700 calories just for doing nothing, just to sit on the couch. So if we combine it with that training, 5,000 calories plus 1,700 calories, so total you might need 7,000 calories as a gymnast, as a professional gymnast, just to train. And you know, a regular gymnast might have other independent activities like playing soccer, hanging out with friends, and etc. So that's why a competitive professional gymnast who eats a lot, 7,000 calories, they still maintain that awesome look. Not all of them, of course. Gymnasts you see on the TV, they're quite successful gymnasts and very fit because they made it to the top. There are a lot of gymnasts who don't really look that great, but they can do awesome stuff. And we just don't see them on the TV. But in general, gymnasts do look fit, do look ripped compared to the general public, of course. Plus, any gymnastics training would combine the strength training, lifting weights, with gymnastics training. Speaking of the weightlifting, there is a drawback of weightlifting. Yeah, it's a very strenuous activity, but we typically know how to bend the legs, how to do the hip flexion extension. It's not a brainer for many of us. And because it's not a brainer, we're not figuring anything out. So you go to the gym, you sit in that leg press machine, and by virtue of being placed in the machine, your spinal muscles are off, they're not working, they're not supporting the body. Your shoulder muscles are kind of off, you're resting, you laid back, and you're only overloading the leg muscles responsible for the press. Yes, it's heavy, but there is little coordination work on the brain's part. And that is the reason why we just go to the gym to unwind after a very tough day, because you can turn your brain off and just lift heavy. And it works. For many years, I myself did powerlifting. I was working in the same way. And after gymnastics, it was very easy to do. Because in gymnastics, you need to stay focused, you need to analyze, you need to think, you need to ask for feedback, and etc. You needed to figure things out. But with the weightlifting, it's a little bit easier, I should admit. Please don't get mad at me, but it is slightly easier. It's not that you need to dance, you just go and lift, and of course you need to maintain good form, you need to maintain good technique and know how the body moves. But in the majority of the cases, it's not the case. People typically don't analyze how they lift, they don't analyze how they sit in the machine. They just go to the gym to have fun, to have good time, to unwind, to relax in a way, to get the dose of endorphins and feel good. And that's absolutely fine. So when you're working with the machines, you're not really tasking your brain with the idea of coordinating your muscle work. Like now, Tilus, that machine which would train your chest, you just sit down, and by virtue of sitting, just like I'm doing now, my spinal muscles are not really working, my hip muscles are not working, they're not holding the body, and etc. A lot of muscle groups are just off, and I'm loading only the chest muscles. And because that movement is very efficient for my brain, I know how to do that, I'm not going to spend a lot of calories on this, because that's what the efficiency is all about. If you know how to do things, you're not going to spend a lot of calories on that. So, and that is the main difference between acrobatic training or gymnastics training or even dancing. A lot of physical activity, a lot of muscle groups are engaged in coordinated fashion, a lot of mental tasks are happening at the same time, a lot of attention, a lot of focus, and as a result, you will have a high demand for the energy from your body. And now you can go and have a more or less normal, healthy diet. Speaking of which, in gymnastics we don't really have special diet. We just use common sense to eat. We eat pretty much like normal people, only in slightly greater quantity. We eat fats, we eat carbs, we eat proteins, all the essential parts. And of course, we just comment the general guidance. We avoid deep fried food, we avoid fast food, or we just go to the fast food restaurant once every 2 weeks or a month just to satisfy that cravings. And rather than that, we don't starve ourselves to death to look like this. We need energy, and we need a lot of energy because we train like this. In my case, what I do for my diet, I just try to maintain, as I said, common sense. I don't eat deep fried food. I don't eat bad fats. I try to avoid simple carbs whenever I can. But sometimes I eat a cookie or a piece of chocolate or an ice cream. That's fine. But in my case, I live in the gym. Not every one of you lives in the gym. I understand that. And on general, I have that guidance for myself. In the morning, I eat pretty much everything within norm. I eat proteins, I eat carbs, I eat like simple carbs, complex carbs, and I eat fats. After 12 afternoon, I'm trying to avoid all simple carbs. No chocolates, no cookies, no anything. But complex carbs are fine. Some cereals, but of course in normal quantity, not overeaten. After 6, I don't eat any carbs, no complex, no simple carbs. I keep only the proteins, some green stuff, and tiny amount of healthy fats like olive oil for dresser, for salad, and etc. Occasionally, I do light days during the week. Every 2-3 weeks, I would pick 2 days and I skip lunch. But I will still have very good breakfast, but skip lunch, and we'll have moderate dinner, clean moderate dinner. Just some proteins, some greens, maybe a glass of wine, maybe red wine. Maybe I will satisfy my cravings. But rather than I'm just trying to stay physically active and do this stuff I cannot do. That is another very important thing. I always try to do the skills, the movements I'm not good at. And only for my videos I do, for my Instagram, I do good things I can. I'm trying to improve many other things which are not so flawless in my case. Because if I know how to do handstands, if I know how to do planches, if I know I can do pretty much all of them, it means that my brain figured it out. It means that my brain excluded some unnecessary muscle tension, unnecessary muscle coordination, unnecessary everything. So it became efficient. Efficiency means my brain doesn't spend a lot of energy on producing those movements. So I can maintain those movements, so that in order not to lose them with age, of course, every once in a while. But other than that, I'm trying to build on those movements. I'm trying to add some spicy thing to each of them, like press to handstands with shift to one arm, or something like this, so that I'm not familiar, I'm not comfortable. I'm trying to take myself out of the comfort zone. And when your brain is out of the comfort zone, it tries to learn about the new environment, about the new movement. And that's where it becomes very expensive in terms of the energy. That is where you can spend extra calories you consumed in the morning with your coffee just on learning new things. So my advice for you guys would be, try to stay physically active, try to exercise with the different kinds of activities, some calisthenics, some gymnastics, dancing, weightlifting, combine once a week weightlifting, once a week calisthenics, once a week dancing. Try to stay mentally active, that's important. Also, it's important for your ability to learn in the future as we age. Learning new languages, learning how to play piano, or even simpler thing, learn how to brush your teeth with the opposite hand. That's not easy. Try how to eat with the opposite hand. That's really not easy. Try to change up your routine. You will spend a lot of energy, and it's actually good for your neurological health as well. You will maintain your motor cortex, premotor cortex, and all those things in good health by just learning new things. And when it's the case, you just can have a normal diet within some moderations, of course, and that will just do. If you really know how to do squats or how to do running, well, you still can do them, of course, once in a while, but experiment with different things. Try to add something new to your routine, new movement which would require some coordination. Because if you know how to do the bench press, yes, you can increase the weight, but as I said, lifting 100 kilos 1 meter above the ground, it's 1 calorie. And not everyone can lift 100 kilos 1 meter above the ground. Probably we're not all of us are doing bench press with 2 plates on each side. It's typically 1 plate or 1 plate something. So one rep of the bench press will give you 0.5 calories. So it's really nothing. So you can still do that, but maybe occasionally try something new, or try something new more often than something you can do. So try to combine those two kinds of training, and you will be just fine. Learn new ways of doing things, stay physically active, eat healthy, try to follow my suggestion how to eat before 12, eat everything after 12, no simple carbs after 6, no carbs whatsoever, light days, and that should help you with your physical activity. And that's pretty much it. There are no secrets here. Try to do things you don't know how to do. Try to improve highly sophisticated routines which require coordination, which would require thinking during the execution. Don't just overload the movements you really can do, because if you know how to do one thing, it's efficient, and in order to feel challenged by it, we would always put some weights. But where would it stop? If you keep putting some weights, there will be a plateau, the point at which you won't be able to add any more new weights. And if you're good with self-control, you might stop and you go back and try something new. If you're not good with quitting, sometimes quitting is good, then you will be pushing yourself beyond towards potential injuries. That's kind of not good. Everything is good in moderation, well, including moderation itself. So try to diversify your training, watch your diet, try new things, stay mentally active, and your body will respond in kind. Okay, so try these and let me know what you think. Let me know what is your diet, what you're doing for diet. I'm just curious. Shoot me a comment. Let's talk. Let's discuss about this. That's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Trainer Maxim with you. I will see you in my next episode. Go enjoy your day. Bye-bye.